All right, welcome. So this is a little bit of an overview video just of the CLEP U.S. History 2, 1865 to the present exam, how to best pass it and what to focus on in order to do your best. So I'm going to put all my videos on here, but I am teaching this class at a high school level right now. If you are taking high school modern U.S. history, I strongly recommend that you do maybe a tiny bit of studying, if anything, and go and take the CLEP exam and pass. If you can see here, it says that you need a passing score of 50, just so we understand that is equal to 70%, but this is all multiple choice. And so this is what I say every single time, guys. When you have 4 options and you can guarantee 2 of them are wrong and you 50-50 shot it, if you know the basic material, it's pretty easy to hit a 70%. And when it comes to college, the first 2 years of college, you're just repeating high school again. So save yourself 60 to 80 grand just by testing out of those 2 years. And make it really happen. All right, so what this exam is, it is the second semester of most college level U.S. history courses. At another time, I will teach the U.S. History 1 course, but because I'm teaching this right now, it's very beneficial. Most modern U.S. history classes are going to be just over the second portion, so 1865 to the present, whereas if you look at like AP U.S. history, that's going to be both the pre-colonialization era all the way up to the present. So it's a lot more information involved in that test. So it doesn't really incorporate any of the Civil War. It focuses a lot more on Reconstruction. So it's from 1865, the end of the Civil War, to 1914, which is the beginning of World War I. So that is 30% of the test. 70% of the test is over 1915 to the present. That is your main focus with all of this. Now, the big thing that I recommend with all of this is take out the idea of dates and knowing like the years necessarily. What I do recommend is understanding the timeline, which events come in which sequence, and that's how I'm going to try to teach this as well. So I'll do my best to post everything on the playlist on here. I also do some off-site videos so you can go hear from other people that aren't myself. I try to keep my opinion out of this as much as possible, but sometimes it's not really possible to hide it. So if something that I say you disagree with or anything, leave it in the comments. Just let me know. See if I can update and give you more familiarity with the subject matter. But I'm going to break down everything over this exam really quick. And then this being said, with all of this is the timeline, and don't be overwhelmed by this. It frames things and words things in a very complex language in order to make people kind of a little more scared of it. If you understand the timeline of events and how things go in order, it'll make a lot more sense. So I will be creating a playlist on this YouTube channel. What I'll do is I'll have lessons of me teaching, just quick lessons explaining different vocabulary, and then in between those I'll add video links so you can watch more in depth on any of those topics that you might be interested in and wanting a little more information on. Sorry, there's people moving around, but just keep in mind that this is language in order to make people nervous. It sounds like it's a lot worse than it actually is, but if you just kind of follow the timeline from Reconstruction to the present, it's pretty straightforward. So like, for example, it says 30% is over political policy and political institutions, public policy. So this is actually going to be like laws that get put into place that kind of go about and move around in society. Social developments, you're going to see things like Rosie the Riveter, or you'll see something of the effect of just like the War Production Board or the Double V campaign. You're going to see things happening at home, the victory gardens that end up pushing people abroad, okay? Economic developments, we can talk about the Federal Reserve creation in 1913. There's a bunch of different economic developments that happen throughout the course of everything, and with the Great Depression involved and all these different elements, you're going to see this constant pattern of kind of ebb and flow, of up and down, of money, no money, so on and so forth. So yeah, cultural, intellectual developments. This is talking about like things of the nature of like civil rights movement, anything that's, or the women's voting, women's suffrage, all those different elements. And then diplomacy and international relations. Very little is spent abroad as far as the U.S. history exam. It very much focuses on what's happening on the home front. So yes, U.S. soldiers are involved in the Battle of the Bulge. You might see a Battle of the Bulge comment in World War II, but again, that's only going to be about 10% of the information. So I don't recommend learning all the names of the battles and all the details and the fronts and all of that stuff. What I recommend learning is the overview of the flow of history from beginning to end of that time period. So I will do my best to cover every topic. If you have any specific thing that you want me to go over in particular, just leave it down in the comments. I'm happy to talk more in depth. But please like, subscribe, and share this around with anybody looking to take the U.S. History CLEP exam 1865 to the present. If you want to test out for free, meaning that you will have somebody voucher for your CLEP exam, they'll pay the $97 fee. If you look at modernstates.org, Steve Klinsky, genius philanthropist, ended up creating a voucher program. So if you are looking for free testing, you can do it that way. He covers the $97 test, and then you'll probably have to pay like $40 for, or maybe even $30, depending on the service that you get. But go to a local community college, sign up for a testing center day, and then just go take the test. If you get a 70% or higher, you pass. If you have a college that you already know that you want to attend, you can actually send those off that college with a code. Like, this is my college's code, 3624 or whatever it is, and then it'll send it to the college directly. If you don't know yet, you could just stack it up like an AP test and then use it as your transfer when you decide. If you are looking to get into Ivy League schools, Yale, Harvard, things of that nature, they don't accept these exams. And a large portion is just because they charge $80,000 in tuition, so they want to keep as much money flowing through their economy as possible. So totally makes sense, totally understand why they operate that way and why they do that. But yeah, so if you are interested in just getting your bachelor's degree, in most universities, they do accept CLEP exams. I do recommend to a lot of people that you pick a university that allows you to transfer 3 to 4 years worth of transfer credits. That way you can test out of way more classes than less classes. Every class you test out of, guys, saves you $2,500 in tuition. So test. It is a way better strategy overall. But that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much. God bless. And